Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 3 Point Weekly. We are recording this on the morning of Game 2, but we're going to start with getting our thoughts on Game 1 from the Boston Celtics fan of the group. Tyrik has got to be happy with the game where he thought Boston were done, but they ended up having one of the best fourth-quarter comebacks in NBA Finals history and ended up winning Game 1 on the road.
Yeah, I'm on record of saying I thought that was a game that the Celtics were going to lose anyways. It's Game 1 in San Francisco of the finals. I thought maybe it would be like a 15-point loss. Like the way that third quarter was going for the Warriors, I'm like, this seems about right. But they were just able to weather the storm. Like it seemed like every time the Warriors went on a run, somebody hit a big shot to just calm everything down. And I got to give my shout-outs to like Jaylen Brown started the fourth quarter off so good. I think he scored 10 points to start the quarter. He really was what was keeping Boston in the game. Tatum on a bad shooting night was still one of the best players on the floor. His playmaking was off the charts. Defense is always there. And then Al Horford, 6 3-pointers, shot 75%. He was incredible. He's looking like the leader for Finals MVP right now. Couldn't tell that was his first Finals game, and he was playing like he wanted it. So, big win. I think if there's a game to steal, Game 1 is a good one to steal because now all the pressure is on the Warriors because if you go down 2-0, it's not really boding well for you going forward. But, yeah, tonight's going to be a big-time test for them. We'll see how they can respond because they haven't been in this situation really all postseason.
I didn't hear a Derek White shout-out in that. Derek White was crazy. And I shouldn't say that he was only crazy in this game because he's been crazy a couple times. Underrated trade deadline deal. I feel like I was a fan of it when it happened, but like to the point where I'm like, that's cool. But he's an impact player, man. When you say like every time they went on a run, somebody hit a big shot, like a lot of times it was Derek White. And like when they really got going, the dude just couldn't miss. Like that fourth quarter run, what I remember from it, like Al Horford, Jaylen, everybody put in work. But bro, the shot that Derek White hit.
Yeah, he hit some big shots, bro. Like he hit some really big time shots.
To me, he iced the game. Now, like the shot he hit like super deep at the end of the shot clock. There was still a couple minutes left, but when that went in, I'm like, this game is over. It's a wrap.
No, definitely. Derek White definitely deserves all the shout-outs. You have a kid in the playoffs. Apparently, you just play well. So there might have to be some teams that have some players that are about to be thinking about some kids that need to start planning this out a bit better. Just saying.
There's a little bit of a correlation.
Fred VanVleet playing terrible, has a kid, gets a Finals MVP vote. Derek White has been unstoppable since then as well.
Underrated stat, they both cook Curry.
Also true.
Because Fred was torching Curry in the finals.
Hey, another thing, Derek White was playing some really, really good defense on Steph Curry. Like, they switched that matchup. They let Marcus Smart guard mainly Draymond, like, down the stretch in the fourth quarter. And they let Derek White guard Curry, and he did a very good job. I mean, Steph outside of the first quarter was not great. I mean, the first quarter, they was running drop coverage. They just seemed very confused defensively. Like, the moment was too big for the Celtics. But after that first quarter, they settled in, started running a little more high on the pick and roll coverages. And they limited – I think Steph only hit 1 3 after the first. And he still had a great game, obviously. But, you know, he was on pace for like 84 points. So they did a good job slowing him down.
Draymond was terrible, though.
He was ass.
He was terrible.
Yeah, that was a rough game for him.
He was garbage, bro. Like, and then I don't mind him going on his podcast. Like, you got to do what you got to do. That's fine. I'm not mad at it. But then just like to say, well, you know, you can't expect, you know, Al Horford and Derek White to shoot that well the whole series. Well, I'm like, well, yeah, Al's probably not going to shoot 75% from three, but he's shooting 45% in the postseason from downtown. You know, and Derek White over like the last 2 weeks is shooting the ball really well. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird comments. It's like almost a little too arrogant at a time. And I just don't like him saying that after he's playing so bad. And even in the Dallas series, he was not great for most of that series. You know, I think Draymond he's kind of getting by on his reputation of being this, you know, cerebral glue guy type of person. But, you know, he's one of the best players on this team. He has all the experience in the world. He's got to be better. He has to.
Yeah, there was a lot of impact players that didn't really step up as much. I mean, Jordan Poole being in single digits, like, and he wasn't like doing other stuff really that much either. Like, he's not defending super well. I mean, only 2 assists, 2 rebounds. He's not like going crazy there. It's just he didn't show up the way you'd like him to. I mean, Clay. I don't know what Clay's expectation really is at this point. I mean, it's like 15.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Well, I mean, okay, I know
Don't
like
say that.
he has his highs, but then it's like when he has a game where he comes out and drops 15, I'm like, is that kind of just
I mean,
like he can still explode at any given moment, but it's like, is he gonna be a consistent 25? Or maybe not even 25. Is he gonna be a consistent 22 even?
the thing is with Clay is like with the way he plays, I can only penalize him so much if he's not getting the looks. If he's missing shots, it's one thing, but he's not out there making his own looks, right? Like either there need to be screens or there needs to be pin downs. He needs to get involved in different actions. Like he's not out there making his own shots. And in fact, some of the shots that he took in game 1 were bad shots that he tried to make on mid-range that he just shouldn't be taking, that he's fading away from the basket. But if Clay's not getting the shots, it's more so on Draymond or Curry need to get him the shots than Clay's playing bad.
Yeah, it's just different though because it's not like he's shooting over like Jalen Brunson anymore. Like you're playing against elite defenders at each position, so it's not going to be as easy to get those looks. It's not going to be as easy for Draymond and Steph, Jordan Poole to get him those looks because the Celtics are historically good defensively, and I think that was like the big thing coming into the series is like both of these teams, like the Celtics are a defense that the Warriors have not seen yet, and the same thing goes for the Warriors offense. Like these two teams are great at what they do, and it's going to be a battle to see like really which prevails because the Celtics defense in game 1 down the stretch was suffocating, and they were able to get the stops. They were able to force the turnovers, and then on top of that, they're hitting shots. Jordan Poole's getting attacked. They were able to get the switch on the Curry a lot more than I thought was going to be the case. So I'm interested to see how Steve Kerr adjusts that because if you keep allowing Jordan Poole and Steph Curry to get switched on the Tatum, Brown, it's going to be a long, long game and probably a quick series for you at that point.
Yeah, and just the whole like adjusting everything, like they gotta adjust that offense heavy. Because I saw a tweet, and I know it's like Twitter, but it was like Jordan Poole is out here spamming screens, and like it just goes from you screen, switch from like Smart to like Tatum, switch again on to Al Horford, and it's like you got to figure out something to do because you can't really match up hunt. Like I don't know if there's really a good switch that you would take with a lot of the lineups they run. And so I don't know like how you figure that out. I guess it might just take a lot of difficult shot making, to be honest, or just some really creative screens. But if anybody can run a complex offense, it's these guys. So I'm hoping they can get something figured out.
Yeah, they definitely got to figure some things out offensively. And like you said, that like you can't match up hunt against Boston. Like there's the only potential mismatch you have on the court is when Pritchard's on the court, and full credit to him. He played probably the best defensive game I've seen from him all playoffs in game 1. He looked really good. That's why he was able to stay on the court more. He competed very well on defense and didn't really get taken advantage of too much. So full credit to him. But yeah, like if you're Golden State, you just got to run an offense. Like everyone on the court for Boston other than Pritchard is going to be a positive defender. That's just the reality of it. So you just got to run your offense for buckets regardless of who's on you.
Yeah, but even like I think Peyton Pritchard can play a little more because the Warriors are a team that doesn't typically match up hunt. And even if they were, I don't think that they have like the personnel to just attack Peyton Pritchard because he battles defensively. And the only time he's going to get overpowered is if it's like a Jimmy Butler or a LeBron or a Giannis or a KD, like elite wing players, forwards. Curry can get the switch on the Pritchard, but I don't think it's something that he's just going to like easily dominate. I think the only guy that might be a little bit of an outlier for Boston might be Grant Williams because he was getting cooked out there when he was on the floor. Like you see, second half, he did not get a lot of minutes, if any at all. Like I was
about to ask about that. He only having 16 minutes in the whole game, like did not score.
Yeah,
I feel like he's been really good the whole like postseason run, and he didn't like strike me as the kind of guy who had like the ability to get played off the floor like that. So do you expect his low minute load to continue?
Yeah, probably. If he can't show the ability to stay in front of Curry and Poole, because he's probably going to get switched on them a lot because the Celtics just switch everything. he won't really be worth much especially because lately he has not been hitting his 3-point shot as much. Like, I don't know if the numbers back me up on that, but it just seems like since the beginning of that Heat series, he really has not been shooting the ball that well. So, if he can't show the ability to defend on switches, he's not really worth playing that much, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just so crazy how quick stuff changes. Because this dude literally went from like Batman, the hero of Boston, to like
And then
just
Derek
another
White
guy
showed up.
that's
being unplayable, and he's always complaining about a call too. Like, bro, just stop. Him and Tatum do that so much, and it just pisses me off. Like, y'all are always crying to the rest.
I
man.
mean, if there's one thing that I've learned through being a basketball fan, there's some stat that's like the only two players to have more steals than fouls is like Jimmy and Kawhi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't make any sense to me because Andre Iguodala has been playing forever, and this dude has never committed a foul in his life.
Bro.
Like, he's never fouled anybody. So does he just not have any career steals, or like what is going on here?
Bro, it's good. It was good to see Iggy back on the court, though. It was good to see him back on the
Good
court.
to see him back on the court. He had a good
For
game.
for his 12 minutes.
He had 2 jumpers. I'm like, when he hit that 3-pointer, I'm like, yeah, this game is over. And then I think Derek White came down here to 3 immediately after. But I was like, bro, if Iggy's hitting threes, it really might be game.
Yeah, that was at that there was a really fun stretch of the game when they were just like going back and forth for a little bit. Like once Boston really started kicking it up, and like it was kind of like the start of Boston's run and the end of Golden State's run, that like crossover area where they're both just coming down, nailing a three, or like Wiggins comes down, hits a little step back mid-range, just pure like fun, exciting offense to watch.
Yeah.
So like that like mid to late third quarter was, to me, just amazing basketball.
Yeah, I was talking with a Warriors fan, and he was like, "Oh, we're fine. There's no way Horford and Derek White and Smart shoot that good the whole series." I'm like, man, you could say the same thing about Otto Porter, Wiggins. Like they were hitting. They didn't. It seemed like they didn't miss. Like Otto Porter missed 1 3, and I think Wiggins ended up missing a few. But it really seemed like those two probably hit like eight or 9 threes combined. Like they were not missing. So you can say the same thing either way. One thing I can say though, Jason Tatum's not going to shoot that bad the rest of the series. 3 for 17, he will not shoot that bad the entire series, bro. Like that might be his worst shooting game the entire postseason, maybe second worst, but he's not shooting that ball that bad. I would say I would confidently make a bet with Vegas, like he's not shooting that bad the rest of the series.
Yeah, it damn near feels like Steve Kerr went into that locker room and he said, "Okay, Tatum's not beating us. Somebody else is gonna have to," and they did. They did.
Yeah. That's why it's tough to say. Like, I feel like you could say a lot about both teams being optimistic. Like, obviously, the Celtics got the win. But it seems like the things that they did are stuff that's been a trend all postseason, defending really well, making those adjustments. And they've been shooting the 3-point shot just as good as any team in the playoffs. And as for the Warriors, it's like, well, Klay didn't have a good game. Jordan Poole didn't have a good game. They'll probably be better. And, we could probably still continue to build off of Wiggins hitting shots and, Otto Porter and them. Like, it's like both teams. And they dominated basically like 40 minutes of the game. So it's like, I think both teams walk away like confident with what they did in game 1. But at the end of the day, it is just one game. It is just the start of the series. But I think we're going to be in for a fun one at the very least.
It almost reminds me of the way last series started with that, like the Heat won that game off of that one quarter where they just went nuclear. Yes. And the Celtics won like the rest of the game, but the Heat took that. And it was like that whole series was like when the Heat would win, they'd have just some huge stretch that would like just take them above and beyond, or like somebody's dropping 40. Well, by somebody, Jimmy, but Bam did have that 130 game. But like, I don't know. It's like Boston won this game and they pulled it out having one just nuclear quarter. I mean, obviously they also won the second quarter, but it's like winning a quarter by 6 is a lot different than winning a quarter by 24. And so that's really what like propelled them. I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State came out game 2 and won by like 20.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't be shocked.
Actually, I don't know though. The Warriors like when the pressure's on them though, they just always seem to crumble. Like, it seems like that's always the case for the most part. They're
Front
great.
runner Curry.
They are great front runners. They are amazing front runners. But
Front runner Kurt choke.
when a team punches them in the mouth, it's like, I don't know. It seems like all the shimmying and stuff and the trash talking that they be doing, it doesn't seem like it's replicated the same way. That's all I'm gonna say. So game 2 is must win for them tonight. Otherwise, they might get swept. Honestly, game 2 is must win.
They might get. You think Golden State might get swept?
If they don't win tonight,
if they don't win tonight, you think Golden State's getting swept?
Yeah, because the Celtics are a type of team. When they know that they can beat a team like that, like they go on the road and win twice, they're gonna go at home thinking like, yeah, there's no way that this team is beating us. And they're a team that like they play like their confidence. You can see it. You can see like when their confidence is there, like they're just playing free flowing basketball. Like the Brooklyn series is a prime example of that. Like when they won those first 2 games, which weren't pretty wins, but they won them. They went into Brooklyn and were pretty much like dominant the entire time. So I think could be a similar facet here, man. I don't know.
I felt like they were very in control at multiple points in the Heat series and dropped. I think they dropped like game, it's either 3 or 4. Like the Bam game, I'm pretty sure that was in Boston, and they should have won that game. They should have went into that game confident as well. And then game 6, you should have closed out there.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. But Jimmy Butler will just be Jimmy Butler sometimes.
Yeah. Jimmy got that true like dog in him. You know, no jokes there. But
Steph isn't a dog.
He's a front runner, dog.
Steph is a. Are we seeing the Steph Curry of mid-season after he broke the record? And Steph Curry became like not a top 20 player for like 3 months.
Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully.
Nah, Steph. I don't know. His season. This has been such an interesting season for him. Literally went from like top of the MVP discussion, breaking an all-time record, and then he was ass. He was just ass.
He was bad for like 3 months straight.
Like now in the playoffs, it's like he hooping again. It almost makes me feel like he like got to the record, and then he's just like, man, fuck the regular season. I got one thing that people are like on my ass about. Fuck the rest.
I don't know. Who do y'all think is going to win tonight?
I got Golden State.
I got Golden State by like 15 to 20 points.
I'll probably take the Warriors too.
I think it'll be close, but I got Golden State.
If you go and win both games on the road in San Francisco,
that's wraps.
Yeah, I think the Chase Center is going to be electric. I think they're going to come out. I think it'll be a pretty close first quarter because I think Tatum's going to come out of the gate mad as hell that he shot 3 for 17. Then I think second half is going to come around. I think Warriors are going to pull away.
That's how I thought game 1 was going to go.
Because Draymond's going to be better. I think Clay is going to be better. I think Wiggins, even if he does it, Wiggins could have like 11, but I think he'll play good defense.
He was playing good defense on Tatum.
I don't think Poole – that's what I mean. But, like, I think his defense will stay good at least no matter – so I think he'll still be a net positive. And Poole's going to be better as well. Like, Poole and Draymond are 2 of their, 4 best players. And they both played really bad.
They shot 4 of 19.
He took 19 shots?
Combined between the 2 of them.
Oh, I was about to say, whoa.
Draymond took 12, which is about as many as you'll ever see him take.
I did see – I think it was Kenny, though. It was Draymond was looking for his own shot way more.
Yeah, he was.
Bro, he missed
he was attacking the rim a lot. And
missed 3
if they're falling, it's great, but they weren't, and they weren't great looks.
But, why – Draymond, a guy that's not usually that aggressive, just getting out of a series against Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber. Now he wants to go attack the rim against Al Horford and Time Lord.
Doesn't really add up.
I'll be interested to see how much Rob Williams plays the rest of the series too.
Me too.
He'll still get his minutes, but I don't know if he's going to be getting 25, 30 minutes a game.
If Al Horford's playing like this,
I mean,
Warriors don't run big enough to have both of them out there that often. So it's
even
if you're
even just
one.
defensively, Al Horford was a significantly better defender in game 1.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he's a better perimeter guy.
Yeah, there was a lot of times in the second half where you could tell that Williams was conscious of the fact that he couldn't play drop, but he wasn't fully stepping up on anything either. He was just kind of hanging out in no man's land. It's I don't know.
Yeah, can't do that against Steph, man.
Yeah, I saw your tweet on that. I watched that shot happen, and I was sitting there with a couple of my boys live, and I'm just like, he just went under on Steph Curry.
Bro, it was going under screens. Like what are y'all doing? But the adjustment was good by Ime. But I was saying to my dad, I'm like, I hope he didn't make his adjustments too early in the series, like on the pick and roll coverage, because showing your hand that soon could maybe come back to bite you. But I don't know. That's just me thinking as like, because I really love coaching matchups, especially when we get to like this point in the season, because coaching actually does matter. Even if you have like LeBron, like coaching is still important. So I don't know. We'll see how Steve Kerr adjusts tonight. But I was impressed to see the in-game adjustments. Like that was very impressive by Ime. Like his first finals game to do that was something to see.
I mean, yeah, you saw throughout the course of the game, like obviously out of halftime, I mean, Steve made the better adjustments. You saw they were going nuclear themselves for a little bit, but then not even a halftime adjustment, just like a mid to late third quarter, take a timeout, and right there on the fly, Celtics turn everything around. So the fact that you could just flip on a dime like that, I mean, maybe it was just shots started falling that weren't falling before, and it wasn't even that much of a schematic change, but it's like, you got to assume he just said something in the timeout that just like flipped the switch.
He might have, man. Yeah, we'll see though. I don't know. Didn't the teams combined hit like 37 threes? I think that was the number they showed.
40. It's 43.
Ended up being 40.
43s.
Heavy shooting game because, I mean, the Warriors shot 42% and Boston shot 51%, and both on over 40 attempts.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Like the Warriors played an efficient game. Boston just, I mean, when you shoot 50, 50, 80 in total on the game, like
that's tough to beat.
You're probably gonna win that game.
Most likely, yeah. I don't know. I'm mad that they keep like 3 games in between games. Is just like crazy, bro.
Yeah, especially between game 1 and game 2. Like I get it between 2 and 3 for travel, like sure, but between 1 and 2, especially since they gave them like 4 days off after the Boston Miami series.
Yep.
Like, I thought that would have been time enough, but
yeah, what I think is annoying is it's like there's the whole big like debacle, like these games are too close together. That's why everybody's getting injured. And it's like when you have all these games going on, like when there's like 8 teams left, you're doing it every other day. When you have more opportunity to space games out and like not have 3 days without games, but then as soon as there's only 2 teams left and these are the only games on, now you want to space it out.
Yeah, like early on in the playoffs, there would be like 3 games in one day and they're all like an hour apart. Like,
yeah,
how am I supposed to watch all these games, man? Like, I can't watch Philly and Toronto because I got to watch Celtics and Nets because they come on at the same time. And then the Warriors play the Nuggets right after that. So it's like, I can't watch one of the games. It's so annoying, bro. Like, you would think they would be better at scheduling games.
I missed a ton of the Brooklyn series just because, I mean, I'm watching the Raptors first.
We played at the same time. Like, I think I watched
exactly.
one of y'all's games, and it was after we were done.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Which it's just so – yeah, they need to figure that out because it's like now you have 3 days between games when there's nobody else playing. Literally. Like, man.
What do y'all think about them potentially shortening the season to like 70 games?
I'm with it.
You are?
I'm with it. I think so, yeah. 82 is a lot, man. It really is. Like, as much as I'm all for more games, more basketball to watch, more content, all for it, it skews the record stuff, of course, which is the tough part. But from a short-term just enjoyment of basketball and peak player performance, as far as potentially less load management, potentially less injuries, potentially less guys just having to rest, you get to have guys just more rested and be able to perform at a peak level. Not that it's confirmed that it was because of the rest, but we saw what happened with Kyrie this year when he didn't have to play as many games. Man was playing the best basketball of his career, arguably. So there's something to be said for it for sure. I'd probably be for it, but I can definitely understand an argument against it.
All right. My stance here, I'm thinking these star players, how many of them are playing over 70 games anyways? Whether it's like load management or you're like a little banged up, so you're like, okay, I'm going to take this day off. If you just got more days between games, more players are probably playing like every night, or not every night, but like every night there's a game. Hold up. On my sneeze. Sorry, that just cut me off. But okay, but then it's like then you're getting players back to maybe playing every game, and it's not. I don't think it'll change the stats that much in that scenario. Now, to make it work, I think you do have to like really crack down on all this like load managing. It's like, okay, we're gonna give you more games, or I guess less games, more days off between games. You guys got to play when you have games, or else like what are we even doing this for? We're sacrificing our money and our revenue that we're earning from these extra games so that you can be more rested and play.
I see what y'all are saying. I don't know. I'm against it, man, because I feel like people are going to load manage anyways. I feel like that's even if we cut it down 10 games or 12 games, people are still going to take. Like Kawhi is not going to play 65 games. He's still going to take his games off. You know, it's just. I think that's just how basketball is now. I was watching. I was watching Through the Wire, and I think Pierre said something along the lines of, guys' bodies might just be worn down anyways because like growing up playing AAU, you're playing like 6-7 games a weekend. That's taxing. Like that's taxing. Doesn't matter how young you are. Like that can actually like really affect you. I didn't think about it in that aspect. So I don't know. I just feel like either way, people are going to take days off. Guys are still going to get hurt. It's just a part of the game. And what I just hate about it is like records are going to get skewed. And I don't know. I just feel like as like somebody who just likes, you know, the history of the game, I just don't like that aspect, man. And then they're talking about adding in that midseason tournament anyway. So you're still going to be playing close to the amount of games of 82 anyway. So just keep the 82, man. Like,
True. If you play 72 games or like 70 games, nobody will ever beat the 73-9 Warriors.
exactly.
It'll
They're
be
going to be looking at win percentages and, oh, this player averaged the most points all time. This guy averaged the most assists, not like totals. And I don't know. I just don't like that at all.
I kind of do though, thinking about that, because then it's like it becomes like more of like a peak argument and like more than longevity. So it's like who actually was the best scorer.
I don't know. I think longevity really is a part of like somebody's legacy, man. I would take 10 years of being great than like 5 years of just being great. Obviously, I think longevity is a big part of making a player an all-time great.
Yeah. If you look at these like all-time career averages instead of like longevity stats, it sheds so much more light on old players. Because I swear back in like the 60s and 70s, players would come in all the time as like a rookie and just be the best player in the league. Like even when like Magic and Bird came in around the 80s, like they were literally like top 5 players in the league as rookies.
Yeah,
like, I think
guys
like
are coming in a lot older too, though. To be fair,
Wes Unseld came in and was the MVP.
I do that in 2K every year.
Hey, that is true. My player averages like a 50-point triple-double.
For real.
Yeah, the top 10, it's like top 10 career scoring averages all time. If you said these people had the highest scoring average, these are your 10 best scorers ever, it would be Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Jerry West, Iverson, Bob Pettit, Oscar Robertson, and George Gervin.
Shout out to the Iceman.
Shout out to Karl Malone not being in the top 10 because he's 11. So really shout out to Iceman.
facts.
But it's like you look at this like best scorers list. It's got Kobe at 12. I feel like Kobe is probably like a top 5 scorer, easy.
End of his career really messed him up.
Yeah, because then like you see like LeBron's up here still, but if he's to average 30 this year, so he's went up this year. But you would think if he like played like 4 more years, his might drop, but because he's only like 0.1 above like Jerry West.
Yeah.
The end of Iverson's career had to screw him up because he's still on here at 7 at like 26 points per game.
Crazy that he's still up there for all the bad years he had.
Like maybe like 2008 on or 2007 on, he was pretty trash.
2008 on.
Like, but MJ and Wilt being top 2, Elgin Baylor having the 3rd highest average of all time. Honestly, not that surprising because bro has a 70-point game and he was playing back in that era.
Nah.
I don't think anybody has multiple besides Wilt.
I think Wilt's the only one. Yeah, Wilt's crazy. I think even Jordan was averaging like 31 before he retired the second time. Before he like the Wizards days, I think he was averaging 31 at that point.
Yeah,
like 31.6 or something crazy like that.
Honestly, Wilt only averaging 30 is wild to me.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah. He must have had a rude fall off.
There's some crazy,
Must
like,
have.
I shouldn't say crazy names in the top, like 25 to 30, but it's like Bob Pettit having the 8th highest scoring average of all time.
He was playing in like the 50s, bro.
Dominique Wilkins is at 14, which might not be surprising to some people, but I feel like most people think of Dominique more for his highlights and his actual like numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Barry at 15. There's some of the ABA guys that are up here pretty high. Like, I mean, Gervin, of course. Damian Lillard being at 16th highest scoring average is crazy. I think he'll probably be another case because there's so many at 24 where Dame is.
He was averaging like 25 for like 5 or 6 years straight.
Right. Like number 20 is Adrian Dantley, which really good scorer, but nobody ever talks about him really.
So underrated. So underrated, bro.
I'm surprised that they never made a finals because they had him on the roster still when they first got had a younger Stockton and Malone, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he got traded to Detroit in like 87, I think.
So yeah, they had a couple year window of all three of them on the roster.
He was nasty. Mark Aguirre was nasty, and Alex English. Like them are some like the best scorers from that time, bro.
Alex English, the leading scorer of the 80s.
They never get talked about, man.
You know,
crazy.
Nobody talks because I'm thinking about it. Like nobody ever talks about David Thompson, and nobody ever talks about
David Thompson's for understandable reasons.
Okay. Yeah, but nobody ever talks about him, and nobody ever talks about Alex English. So I'm just like, are the Nuggets that irrelevant? So we're like, in 20 years, are people not going to talk about Jokic?
Did David and Alex English even like cross paths? Like, did their careers intertwine with each other's?
I think that Thompson was more 70s, and then English came around the 80s.
Damn, David Thompson messed himself up, bro. He would have been one of the greats for real.
He inspired Michael Jordan. So I think he ended up inducting Jordan into the Hall of Fame.
Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes. So you can thank him for Michael Jordan, I guess.
Dang.
But yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm like, dude, when you're just like a really good guy for a small market, Jokic might like break that mold since he's like an MVP and all that.
Maybe Giannis too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's like I don't know, guys that become legends for like those smaller franchises, like the Spurs. Like nobody thinks of Spurs pre-Greg Popovich, so it's like how much do people actually talk about like George Gervin or David Robinson as legends?
Nobody talks about Gervin, man.
I don't think people really talk about David Robinson that much either. For you think of like 90 centers, I think people are saying Patrick Ewing before David Robinson.
Yeah.
If you ask me a casual fan.
That's fair.
Probably.
That's fair. Yeah. George Gervin has probably the best poster of all time. Like actual poster. Not like dunking on somebody, but like the Iceman poster, that stuff that's so raw, man.
It's one of the coolest nicknames of all time, I gotta be honest. No pun intended.
What is y'all's favorite nickname all time? I have one and it's been mine for like ever. Like Mr. Big Shot's always been my favorite nickname. That is
Talk about Robert Horry, Big Shot Bob.
Nah, Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey, there's a couple big shots, but I don't know.
I don't know if I have a favorite.
Favorite nickname?
Well, look up a list.
There's some that are just funny, like them calling like Babyfaced Assassin is just like funny.
Is that still a nickname for him?
I don't think he's Babyface anymore because he's like 34.
Nah. Also, people don't have nicknames anymore.
I think there's some like you got like Spida.
Yeah.
Spicy P.
Spicy
P. You got can you call Mello a nickname?
Yeah.
Because it is just kind of.
It's an easy one. It's cheap.
That's about as much of a nickname as like Mello. Gabe is my nickname, I guess.
Or Braun.
Yeah.
His nickname's King though. That's King James.
Have you ever heard anybody call Luka Cool Hand Luka?
No.
I hear Luka Magic. When he first came in, it was like Wonder Boy. Then it was like Baby Goat for a second.
Wonder Boy, Baby Goat.
Now I just see Luka Magic for real.
I'm looking at a list. It's the top 101 nicknames in NBA history.
Oh, the
I mean,
beard and
obviously-
the beard and the brow, I guess.
I think
Yeah,
Hakeem the Dream is cool.
the dream.
I think
is dope.
honestly, I think Kareem's nickname. I think the captain's kind of a weak nickname. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, I was watching the Showtime series, and that's all they call him. A cap, a cap. Like that shit's so corny.
Chef Curry's a pretty good one. The brow's another one that's just funny to me.
The brow.
Uncle Drew's a hard one. I was
Uncle
sitting there,
Drew.
I'm like, what's Kyrie's nickname? I haven't heard somebody call him Uncle Drew in a while.
The Durantula.
Bro, Kevin Durant has some stupid nicknames too.
Slim
I don't
Reaper.
know.
Slim
Slim
Reaper was
Reaper.
hard. I don't know why he didn't like that one. I love Slim Reaper.
That's easy money sniper right there, man.
Junkyard dog. These the Latvian laser. I forgot about that. He's not the laser no more, man.
No doubt.
Nah.
What was Dirk's nick? German Jesus. That's right. Flash for Dwayne Wade was a fire one.
He stopped calling himself Flash though.
It's better when you don't call yourself the nickname anyways.
That's true.
Birdman, yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy because Birdman basically became his name. Like nobody called him Chris Anderson. It was just Birdman. Everybody knew who
Birdman,
Birdman was.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess most of the younger stars, I guess you got to do something crazy to,
The Truth is a classic one too.
because like really the top guys, like you got like Greek Freak, you got the Joker. Obviously, I mean LeBron is still King James, Durant is still at the top. So like most of like the guys at the very top, Chef Curry, they get a nickname, but it's like those like kind of like lower tier all stars, I guess you would say. They don't really get much.
The Claw.
not really.
Forgot about Kawhi.
Yeah, you got to be like a top like 8 player.
I miss watching Kawhi play basketball, man.
Jimmy G
Yeah.
buckets.
Jimmy G.
But I'm thinking like players like Jason Tatum, Devin Booker. Like they don't really have like that iconic of nicknames or anything. It's kind of like
Book.
next generation.
Book.
Yeah, the D Book. That's not a nickname, bro.
It's
That's
not.
just shorthand.
No.
Or like Ja. Like, does Ja Morant have a nickname? I mean, obviously Ja is a nickname, but
Like, yeah,
The human victory cigar is so disrespectful. That is a terrible nickname to have, man. They was just giving anybody nicknames back then.
Chris Bosh was
Apparently.
literally just he was literally just a dinosaur.
Big Ticket. Forgot about that.
Tick.
Stevie Franchise. I love that nickname too.
Paul George's is one. Like Paul George and Chris Paul are both just like
Plays on
Like,
their names and numbers.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like I mean Paul George's is a lot better. Like CP3 is just that because it rolls off the tongue well.
Yeah.
But like when PG changed his number to 13 and did like the PG-13 thing, that's hard. Like when he was PG-24, it really didn't hit the same as like a nickname.
Yeah.
Nah,
Didn't
facts.
really flow as well.
That's so he really tapped into that. Nicknames are just fun, man. Yeah, they got it. This new generation has to get some going. Right now, out of like the young guys, the best one's probably like Ice Tray or Spida.
I would say Spider is better. My
Yeah,
opinion.
probably.
I think Ice Tray is crazy though.
What about Ant-Man?
And that's a pretty good one. Okay.
Ant-Man. Who else? Nobody really has nicknames. That's crazy.
No, not really.
Is that
Man.
an old school thing?
Man, it's becoming an old school thing at this rate.
Boogie. What an iconic nickname.
Boogie. That's basically his name. I forget his name is DeMarcus. bro.
Yeah. Nobody calls that man DeMarcus.
Nah, White Chocolate might be the best nickname ever. I'm gonna be real. White Chocolate might be the best nickname.
I mean, I think if you had to say the best nickname, it's probably Magic.
yeah.
Because it's literally like it's just his name. Like he is just Magic Johnson.
What about
It's not-
Penny? Penny's got a good. I like Penny more than Magic, honestly. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but if he had quarters, he would have got a ring.
Mm-mm. Bad joke.
That's-
The worm.
The weren't really the 90s was the 90s. They were on something different, bro. The Worm, the Admiral.
Skip to my Lou, Rayford Austin. Shout out to Rayford, man. Nah,
What is
Rain
Scotty-
Man.
what
Rain
is-
Man is hard. Rain Man is a tough
Sean
name.
Kemp. The glove.
The glove. Oh yeah, I meant to say this. I expect Gary Payton to play a lot more. Well, to actually play, hopefully in game 2.
Yeah,
The
hopefully.
only 90s dudes that I can't think of like a nickname is like Stockton.
It's because John Stockton's mid, bro. He don't deserve a nickname.
Somebody else was just in my mind too. That I'm like, what was their nickname?
Oh yeah, let me ask y'all because this came up in my memories earlier today. Because I shared a post that was like it was a start bench cut between CP3, Steve Nash, and John Stockton, and I had them in that order. You know, start CP, bench Nash, and cut Stockton. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
So I would easily start CP3 because I don't know, like they've all kind of had their like playoff failures, like all 3 of them. But I feel like I've seen CP3 close out more fourth quarters.
It's fair.
Like is like his clutch numbers still at least look good, and I feel like out of the 3, he's the most likely to pull one out. But I have also seen John Stockton hit a shot to send his team to the finals. So there might be a world where I cut Nash, but I think Nash is a better shooter, so I'd probably take him. So I'd probably do the same as you.
Yeah, I'd be the same too.
I think Stockton's probably a little bit better of a defender than Nash, though. Because, I mean, he wasn't like a good defender, but he at least tried.
I think he would get cooked. I think he would get so cooked in today.
He'd be cooked, but Nash might be more cooked.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just not high on John Stockton at all.
If you're looking for John Stockton love, this is not the place.
It's not the pocket. Didn't we go on like a 10-minute slander session of John
Probably.
Stockton? Like
Probably.
our second or third episode.
Hey, I mean, if John Stockton would have just shot the ball some more and stopped chasing stats.
Man. And
All
they
these
was,
stat chasers, bro. People, I would love to see NBA Twitter for so many players back then. Dude, imagine NBA Twitter for Wilt Chamberlain.
bro.
Literally scores 100 points in a game, but literally loses to Bill Russell every single year. You lose every year. Choke in the playoffs. You have these crazy regular season stats, and it doesn't translate to winning at the highest level. He would be slandered to all hell if he played in the modern era. But everybody's like, oh, he put up giant numbers in the 60s. Like, bro, everybody's like, oh, he played against Bill Russell and 8 Hall of Famers. They were Hall of Famers because they played with Bill Russell. Sorry, that was a mini rant.
You sound very animated right now. Okay.
This is the content we need.
Nah,
And is not.
That's the
feeling
thing.
world.
It's one of my favorite debates too is which one made the other one. Is Stockton first all time in assists because Karl Malone was finishing his plays, or is Karl Malone second all time in scoring because he has Stockton passing to him?
I think they both kind of mid in my opinion.
So how are they both at the top of the list if they're both mid? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Because I want to say that Karl Malone finished the plays because Stockton was passing to him. Because even though I'm not that high on Stockton, I'm not giving Karl Malone any credit.
Maybe it was Jerry Sloan's offense.
Yeah, that definitely played a part too.
Maybe it was
Maybe it was just a match made in heaven, honestly. That might be
maybe
just
it
what it
was
is.
Jeff Hornacek's spacing, man. I think that's what really opened up the offense for them.
Okay, enough.
And bro, what's the dude's name? I can't remember who their center was, but I remember him being like a 69 overall on 2K.
Mark Eaton?
No.
Greg Ostertag?
Greg Ostertag, bro. Yes. 2K legend.
They had him, Byron Russell. Those are all the names I can think of, honestly. Those are all the names I can think of, man. Yeah. Before my time.
Yeah, facts.
Tim Duncan ranks 98th all-time in scoring average. That's a little low. That'd be higher.
And he never put up like crazy numbers other than what was it, the 2003 season? I think it was.
Did he ever average over 25?
I don't think so.
He was putting up some crazy stats in his MVP years, bro.
I think he averaged like 23 as MVP year.
Oh, I feel like
yeah, 25.5 in 0102.
Okay.
Everything else was under 24. And he never averaged over 20 after the 2007-2008 season.
that boy still averaged 17 rebounds in the finals, bro. Never forget. Tim Duncan was that guy. He just didn't chase stats. He was basically the modern Bill Russell. I ain't gonna lie to you. Bro, he just sacrificed his stats to win. Won at the highest level.
Pop came to him and said,
Personally,
we're changing the offense.
Bro.
You're passing the ball more. And pass he did.
are Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker Hall of Famers if they don't play with Tim Duncan? This is exactly what I mean when I'm talking about Bill Russell had 8 Hall of Famers. They won 8 rings because they had Bill Russell.
I think Ginobili would have a better chance at the Hall of Fame than Tony Parker.
Easy. Just because of his overseas play, gold medal. And he was like a nice like 6-man, so he would have had the 6-man of the year accolades probably.
I mean, he might have been somewhere else and been the man for real. You never know.
True.
But he could have just as easily played a couple years and not been in a dynasty and been like, the winning isn't enough to keep me here, and then just like go play overseas because that's what he wants to do.
I love Tony Parker's game, but I do think he's kind of like overrated. And I use that term very loosely. And I only really say that because I just remember a time on NBA Twitter after the 75 list came out, and all of a sudden people were the biggest Tony Parker fans like ever. Like I didn't know y'all were old enough to even watch Tony Parker, let alone y'all talking about like, oh, he should easily be top 75. Like
he's probably a first ballot Hall of Famer, but like at the same time, he might be like one of the weaker Hall of Famers of the modern era.
Wouldn't he be eligible now?
Tony Parker? He's getting really close because he played that 1 year in Charlotte.
I think he played there in 2018?
2018-19 season.
Yeah,
18-19 games. Yeah.
He still might have another year there.
Because he left right after Ginobili. Because didn't Ginobili retire after that year where he blocked James Harden's shot?
Nah, I think he played one more year.
Oh, maybe he did.
He did. He played one more year. Yep. Because he didn't play with DeMar when he was there. So, yeah.
He should have.
People were just really saying, like, Tony Parker is way better than Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that discourse, man. That was crazy.
Bro.
I've never seen a Tony Parker fan on Twitter in my life, and then they just all emerged.
Bro, ridiculous.
You're telling me Tony Parker is better than a guy that went to a conference finals as the first option?
And Russell Westbrook, who was an MVP.
Literally, though.
I mean, I'd say Tony Parker. The Lakers would love Tony Parker on the team right now. I'll tell you that. But
we gotta stop disrespecting Russ so much, man.
I think Russ still has something to like contribute to the game of basketball. He still can be fun, flashy, and I think give people a lot of ticket buyers and league pass buyers plenty to enjoy and have fun and make their money very worthwhile.
Yeah, it's just when you get thrown with the Lakers and LeBron, you have to be a certain type of player to like fit in with LeBron.
Terrible fit, dude. Terrible fit. And
everybody knew that. Everybody knew that.
Exactly.
They said, they might be keeping him in the next season. Why?
They have no choice.
Bro?
They have no choice.
Yeah, they have to.
No, that's not true. They have a choice. They just don't want to give up any assets. There's no such thing
because they know they're doomed. They know they're doomed. And they don't want to give up any more firsts.
There's no such thing as an untradeable contract.
That 2027 first round Laker pick might be the most valuable pick ever.
Yeah, I was seeing some trades this week for THT Nunn and that first for OG. I was like, yeah, okay, they're getting desperate again.
Yeah, because LeBron will be what, like 42?
He'll probably be gone or retired by that point.
LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron. He's going to the Raptors once we draft Bronny. Trust Masai. LeBron so will really become a real thing. It's gonna be like Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Come on, bro. Nah. Hopefully Russ shakes back though. He wasn't even like god awful this season. He was just like, I feel like it just got magnified because he was playing for the Lakers.
Yeah.
If LeBron left the Lakers, where does he even go? Because if Cleveland's running their thing with like Darius Garland and Jared Allen still in a couple of years, and they're like still like a good like solid team,
They'll take.
I don't know. You think so?
They will take him back. He's always welcome in Cleveland, bro. They will take him back.
But if he was gonna go somewhere that wasn't back to Cleveland again, do you think there's any other spot where he would go to like end his career?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Because
Because he's not going to go to a small market. So
That's the thing. When he moved to LA, it was like, okay, yes, we can build something and do some good stuff here, but it was also a lot about like the side business ventures and like living, like getting to LA and like starting your other sources of income more heavily.
Maybe he goes to the expansion Las Vegas team.
And maybe he goes to the Knicks.
He said he has a house in Vegas. At least he said he did. I don't know if he still does, but maybe he goes to Vegas.
Julius Randle back to the Lakers for LeBron. Julius Randle comes home.
Who says no?
Who says no?
Julius and AD reunited again.
THT in a second for RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. Who says no?
We should just do that for an episode. Just come back with like bad trade proposals.
That's most trade proposals, bro. Because nobody ever wants to give up anything. Like
Facts.
people always try to make workarounds to not give up stuff, and it's like, dude, I don't think people actually get fleeced as often as they like. Like every time a trade comes out, and they're like, "Oh, so and so like got fleeced." The only fleece this year was the Derek White trade, man. Spurs got fleeced.
Nah. Was this? It might have been through the wire again. They had a long ass episode yesterday, but somehow they got to talking about Grievous Vasquez, right? And they said y'all traded
my favorite
him.
trade.
Y'all traded him for Norman Powell and a first round pick that ended up being OG.
OG Anunoby. Yep.
And Norman Powell turned into Gary Trent. So like that's two of y'all's core players right now. That's insane.
Grievous Vasquez. Man.
Grievous Vasquez, OP. He wasn't even bad for us, to be fair. That was just a win-win all around.
He's low-key a legend in my book.
Bro, it's so random that Jose Calderon is a Raptors legend. That makes me so mad. I don't know why. Like, why is Jose Calderon like an all-time player for a franchise?
Bruh.
That was the man. Hell, we're lucky we had Kyle Lowry. Otherwise, he'd be way more of a legend.
It's a franchise with a ring, too. Like, when you think, if you're like all-time, if you got players below 90 overall in your all-time team, or like players below even like 85 on your all-time team on 2K, like you would assume it'd be like a no ring team, like a Hornets or like Grizzlies or like something. But nah.
That's because when I was a kid, the Raptors were terrible every year. Terrible.
Chris Bosh and the rest were nobodies.
Especially after Bosh left, like there's a 3-year stretch where they were just every time we went to Toronto, I'm like, that's a guaranteed win. Like we're not losing to them.
Facts. And then we went and got Andrea Bargnani. What a great selection that was.
Forgot about Big Andrea.
The middle of the 2000s really had like some of the most random first overall picks.
Dude was 7 foot, averaging like 5 rebounds a game.
There was literally like a 3-year stretch where the number one pick was.
Remember Bogut? Wasn't Bogut number one?
Bogut, yeah. Bargnani, then like.
Bogut was nice though. I'll give that. Bogut,
he was good. Solid. He wasn't typical first OB, but he was good.
Like there's like a 5-year stretch where like the best number one overall pick is like Derrick Rose, who had like a 3-year prime.
Yeah.
Him and who would you put higher all time, Blake Griffin or Derrick Rose? I'm trying to think, like, because they were number one picks back-to-back years. I feel like that's really hard careers to compare because Blake was probably better for a little bit longer.
Yeah, Derrick Rose had a better peak, obviously, but Blake had a longer stretch.
But
Like Blake
Blake's peak was pretty nasty.
he was all NBA basically every year.
And literally from like, I guess he actually made his debut like, what was it, 2010, 11?
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2010 to even probably like 2010 to like 2018, he was super nice. But Derrick Rose was only nice like 2008 to like 2012 consistently. Obviously, he still had like really great moments and stuff, but he was not on the court half the time.
That's a good
That's
question,
tough.
man.
That is tough.
Because then it gets me thinking. I'm like, who's the second best number one overall pick from the 2000s? Because there's a lot of weak drafts. It's like 2000 draft not good, 2001 draft not good, 2002 was Yao, 2004 was Dwight. You have like Bogut,
Dwight second. Dwight is second.
So you think Dwight clears?
Easy.
Yeah, Dwight. Okay, yeah, Dwight over Rose and Griffin. I'd probably say that.
Yeah, definitely.
But who would be third? I might have to say Blake.
Yeah, I'd probably say Blake too.
It's close, man, but I might have to say Blake because Rose had like 4 good, maybe 3 really good years.
All right, you know what? I'll say Rose because it was a guard-heavy league, so I think that made Blake's life a little easier. Like the big man position was really weak at that time. I'd also say Blake as a first option, never even. He really wasn't ever a first option except for that Detroit year where they were like an 8 seed and literally got injured, so he didn't even really like play well in that playoff series, barely at all. And then Derrick Rose is a first option, like made some conference finals, and he was like he dogged Cleveland a couple times, like that iconic game winner. But then on the other hand, you could say, okay, Blake didn't make it as far because it was a weaker East. And he had to go through a stacked West. So it is very close.
I could see either way. I just think I'll go Blake. Because Blake had like from 2010 to 2018. That's an 8-year stretch where he was like 20 and 10 every single year, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know how many All NBAs he has, but I'm pretty sure it's a decent amount.
He's got 5.
Yeah, D Rose probably has like 2 or 3.
It was just so like slow for big men, bro. Like the era where the best center in the league is DeMarcus Cousins and second is like DeAndre Jordan.
Derrick Rose has 1.
Bro.
Really?
3 All-Star appearances, 1 All-NBA.
Interesting, man.
DeAndre Jordan has like multiple more first-team All-NBA than Joel Embiid.
He only has 1 though, correct? I hope it's not more than 1. If it's more than 1, I might leave the pod right now.
Let's go.
Hold up. Now I
3
got
All-NBAs in total.
Dang, D Rose only has 1?
Yeah, he's only got 1. All-NBA first team, only 1. 2 third All-NBA teams. And 2 all-defensive first teams.
DeAndre.
And Joel Embiid has never made All-NBA first team.
That is crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy.
It's just embarrassing, man. How did that even happen?
There's
the
definitely going to be.
His name is Nikola Jokic. That's how it happens. But
for real.
There's definitely going to be some stupid discourse in 20 years that says Embiid couldn't make first team All-NBA. He was so bad.
They say DeAndre Jordan better.
20 years, maybe like 6 years for real.
Yeah, it's probably more accurate. I'm giving Twitter too much credit.
If I see a DeAndre Jordan like Hall of Fame argument, I will scream.
There'll definitely be an argument for it.
An argument, bro? Nah. If he makes the Hall of Fame and Derrick Rose doesn't,
I'm not saying I agree with it, but it'll be made.
This is how weak the center position was. DeAndre Jordan has 3 All-NBA teams because you have to have a center. He's only a one-time All-Star.
All NBA first team is just like incredibly foul. Like they should have made an exception that year. Like, nah, DeAndre Jordan is not a top.
Like,
He's not the best center in the world.
Was he ever top 30?
Maybe the year he was an all-star. Maybe.
DeAndre Jordan or Roy Hibbert? Pick one. 2014 Roy Hibbert or like DeAndre Jordan.
So bad.
DeAndre Jordan. This is the best of the best.
Give me Roy. At least Roy can make a post move.
Bro,
And hit his free throws.
There's an era where that was the best of the best. People thought the center position was dying.
It was dead.
It was.
Now it's
dead.
like the top like 7 or 8 centers are really good.
You can make an argument like top like 12 centers are like all guys that are worth top 10. Like somebody like Valanciunas might not be a top 10 center, but he's talented like a top 10 center.
Yeah.
It's like you got like
I don't know. You got Wendell.
To give the quick list to like the top, it's like Jokic.
Rob Williams was not in my top 10 before the year.
Jokic, Embiid, Cat, Bam, Rudy, Ayton, Jared Allen, Valanciunas. That's already 8. Like, nice. And I'm probably forgetting somebody obvious.
Did you say Cat?
Yeah.
Got Wendell Carter Jr. in there.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more.
Yeah, Vucevic in there?
Vucevic. Yeah, Vuce.
Vuce was not playing like a top 10 center this year.
Vuce is he's still elite. He's still good. He's still good.
Solid.
He's still good.
Yeah.
But there was center position is back.
Rob Williams, Mitch Robinson,
Dwight Howard,
Turner.
Dwight Howard and freaking Boogie were like carrying the whole position for about like 15 years.
In their decade. Did you say Rudy? Yeah, you did. You did say Rudy.
Mm-hmm. I almost didn't, but I didn't want
to. I think Capella, he had a downish year. Miles Turner.
You would think a guy like Clint Capella would be like unplayable nowadays. There's just some like that's the kind of guy you really thought was like getting like phased out of the league in like 2015. It's like
that was just more so like what the center position had become. Like you set picks, you get rebounds, and you catch lobs.
Yeah.
But now
there just wasn't any other centers in the league didn't do anything else. That was just your role.
But now it's back to like, okay, centers can actually be the focal point of our offense again.
Like
these guys are actually super talented. Yeah. He's a top 10 center.
Go on. Oh,
he's a top 10 center. He's only 26 years old.
Only 20. He's not even in his prime.
Not even in his prime.
He's about to be entering his prime next year, man. I don't know how the Warriors keep doing it, bro.
Keep doing it.
Even Jakob Poeltl's an underrated guy.
Yes, Jakob.
They gonna remember Poeltl more by the game. The game just keeps evolving, bro.
It really does keep evolving.
Yeah, it fully does.
Like I'm giving Dolph Shays 50.
We have this conversation every week.
We out here disrespecting the veterans of the game, and then we wonder why we can't guess them.
Dolph Shays probably is like, he might be deceased, and we're just like always throwing dirt on his name every single week. Like this is the 3rd week in a row Gabe has brought up Dolph Shays.
I'll bring up Bill Sharman next week. I got you.
Bill Sharman. I'm
Dolph
consistent.
Shays,
I'm consistent, man. I say Bob Cousy and John Stockton every time.
You know what you're gonna get, that's for sure.
He was born in 1928 and he died in 2015.
Rest in peace.
That and Utah Jazz slander. That usually comes up every week as well.
And the Kings. We haven't talked about the Kings.
The Kings have got a bit of a break. I'll give them that.
Talked about the Kings all episode.
I even said that there wasn't that many fleeces this season.
I don't think that trade was a fleece. It just wasn't smart.
Oh yeah, I think there was about equal value on both sides. It just didn't fit the timeline.
Yeah.
Now, some of Portland's trades, that was a bit more of the fleece category. But
it's like the Lakers traded Brandon Ingram to get Anthony Davis, and it's like they traded an up and comer that was gonna be an all-star for a current all-star. So the Kings traded an up and coming probable all-star for a current all-star, but it just doesn't make sense because they're not trying to compete for a title.
Yeah, because Sabonis' ceiling's probably not as high. Like he's already
No.
probably peaked. I want to say probably because you never know. He might come out and be like a
Let's say
40%
Sabonis
3-point
is
shooter
like
next year.
24.
If he can improve his 3-point shooting a bit more, then maybe. But
I didn't
don't think
realize
that's out
how
of the question.
bad. I didn't realize how bad it actually was.
Yeah, it's not good. I think some people just get the false narrative because he was made to be a 3-point shooter in his rookie season,
Yeah.
even though he wasn't. He's just not.
Yes.
Sabonis had 1 year where he shot 52% from three. Now the volume was literally nothing, but
Probably like 52 attempts.
Yeah,
he shot
took 0.2
0.2
attempts per game. Yeah.
Yeah, his
Took
career high in
37
attempts
threes that
actually
game.
came last year. He
17.
took 2.6 a game, 32%.
That's not terrible. I think he'd just be trying to keep the defense honest.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I think that's more of what it is.
He was super consistent this year. He like pre and post trade, he averaged 18.9. Really the exact same scoring average.
Yeah. I think we'll probably see him take less threes in Sacramento now, though, unless he actually improves it. Because unless he's on the floor a lot with Rashawn Holmes, he doesn't have to space as much with not another big man on the floor.
Yeah, they might have to trade.
Sacramento
Sit in the
taking
paint.
less threes, man.
They might have to trade Rashawn, bro.
Hey, I ain't mad at that if they want to sauce him over.
I thought Rashawn was gone in free agency. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
He's
he was
on a very, very, very good contract.
He is. He's on a good contract.
He probably could have got like 18 mil somewhere else, bro.
Yeah.
I thought Rashawn was gone this offseason, to be honest. I
I
thought
did
he's
too.
out. I don't think he's a free agent, but still, I thought he was gone.
Nah, he's on a 4-year deal now.
Yeah, he's
Kings,
got another 2 and a player option.
Their roster is so weird. Like if they start, if I swear,
there's talent on that roster. In my opinion.
if they come into the season and they start a lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Dante DiVincenzo, Harrison Barnes, Sabonis, and Rashawn Holmes, that's wild.
It's going to have zero spacing.
That just makes no sense. Like those 5 players together
Here's a trade.
feels weird.
Here's a trade, and who says no? Well, obviously not like straight up, but a package of Rashawn Holmes for PJ Washington.
Rashawn Holmes for PJ. I don't mind that for either side, to be honest. I don't mind that.
Because Hornets get it big. I think Rashawn is maybe not the exact big that they want, but he can run the floor really
It's a hell of an upgrade.
Hey, like you said, anything's better than Mason Plumlee. You get the big that you probably need, and he's on a better deal than what if you want to bring in an Ayton or even a Mitch Robinson. He's probably gonna make less money and do the same stuff. Then for the Kings, PJ Washington can shoot the ball. He's a pretty good defender, and he won't have to run the 5 because you got Sabonis there, but he can defend really well. So I think that's probably the best that you could get while not trying to like attach too much to try and get an upgrade at the 4. If you want to run Sabonis at the 5, that is.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
I think that should be a priority for them, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you can't run Rashawn and Sabonis.
No, God no.
Sabonis is a 5.
Especially not with. Well, I was going to say especially not with their 3-point shooting from their guards, but Fox actually shot really well from deep at the back end of last year, so I'll wait and see on that one. But
I feel like a lot of people are down on De'Aaron.
I'm ready to push some mad Fox narratives going into the next season because people are so down on him right now. And after the Halliburton trade, he was playing like one of the best point guards in the league, and no one talked about it.
Yes,
that was one of the best rivalries of 2017. It was De'Aaron Fox versus Lonzo Ball, where every time they played the Kings, suddenly like Lonzo would be out, and they were talking all that trash, like, "Oh, LeVar's running his mouth, all this," but then De'Aaron Fox's dad is like, "My son is a better player," and he was low key right.
What is it with players' dads like in that era just becoming like a big part of NBA discourse, bro?
What? I don't know what you mean that era. Did you not see the Timberwolves Grizzlies series with like Cat Senior and?
I think that was different. I feel like that was just friendly, like competition. But back then it was like Marvin Bagley's dad talking about De'Aaron Fox, and then De'Aaron Fox's dad coming back, and then LeVar was always in the news. It's just like. Man, these AAU dads are different, bro.
Maybe I was just having so much fun, like experiencing that it just all feels like fun to me.
Like, yeah. No, it was a funny experience. I enjoyed it for sure.
What I think is crazy is like you would think LeVar would be so much louder now because like LaMelo is that guy.
He chilled out for sure. I think he got his point across.
Yeah.
That he
So,
got all his kids to the league in some capacity.
That's crazy. And it's crazy. There's like a few like brother family NBA hoopers. The Holidays, the Ball brothers, the Currys, obviously.
Yeah, you think there'd be like a
Yes.
lot less of that than there is.
That's impressive,
the
bro.
Morris
Like
twins.
that is so impressive, man. Like that's like 5% of the league right there, for real.
It's a family business.
Yeah. It would suck to be the brother that didn't make it to the league.
It's the same thing with sons, bro, or like even grandsons, like Otto Porter and Wilt Chamberlain. That's crazy.
I just seen a TikTok about that today. I'm like, I don't know. I'm all for a good conspiracy theory, but I don't know about that. Like, I feel like they'd be reaching with some of those, man.
The biggest thing that makes me want to believe it is that 20,000, one of them could have been
Allegedly 20,000. The fact,
it's probably more like 30,000. You're right.
so like Wilt allegedly never had kids. Like that is insane. Because I know he was not using a rubber.
Bro, he definitely. That boy he's got a kid out there somewhere.
He probably has a lot of kids.
Probably.
He probably has.
Well, he was just too busy chasing stats.
Chasing stats on and off.
Chasing stats and losing to Bill Russell every year. And I hate when I look at a top 10 list and it has Wilt Chamberlain over Bill Russell. He lost to Bill Russell every season.
Yo, that's funny.
Literally like
That's funny. Why did I was just scrolling through
DeMar DeRozan over LeBron, man.
I was scrolling through YouTube the other day. And why did that man Mike Korzemba make a video about the theory of Jimmy Butler being Michael Jordan's son?
That was terrible. That was like, I'm sorry. The only time that I will let it slide as a joke is if you say Anthony Edwards. Because if you see their side-by-side photo, it looks the exact same. And Anthony Edwards is just so funny, bro. And he just has that like confidence and like air about him.
Yes.
That I'm like, okay.
I would love for him to make like a day in the life video type. Like that would be funny. I just feel like he's a funny person. Good. He named his dog Ant Jr. Like he's really just a little kid, bro.
Thanks.
I'm best with Ant.
That dude is so cool. I feel like he's in such a weird place in the league though, because he's like low key like a really nice rising star, but I feel like he's talked about more for his personality than actually being like a future star.
Nah, for real.
Which is crazy considering he just averaged 25 in a playoff series. But
yeah, I feel like he has like top 10 player potential.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like he's got
top five. Yeah.
I think he was the rightful number one pick too, high key.
Yeah.
All respect to LaMelo. But
yeah. Even if LaMelo ends up being a top 5 player in the league, there's nothing wrong with that Ant pick. He's a special player.
Why am I blanking? Who went number 2?
James Wiseman.
It's because we haven't seen him play in a year and a half.
The guy that's in the NBA Finals right now. He's still about to have a ring first.
Bro, that is like I'm still pretty. I don't know about high on James Wiseman, but I'm so confident that he can be a good player.
Yeah, I mean, he went number 2 for a reason, but it is weird given the fact that he hardly played in college. So
sign and trade James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody for Kawhi Leonard next offseason.
Nah, I did see an article that was like the Rockets should go after James Wiseman. I'm like, yeah, but what are they gonna give up?
Yeah,
Eric Gordon,
Christian Wood.
They'd have to
the Warriors, another nice big man.
Christian Wood, yeah.
I feel like he fits terribly in that system, though.
Yeah, Christian Wood is more like a.
I feel like he needs the ball a lot.
Get Eric Gordon on the Dubs.
And he's not great defensively.
Christian Wood's more of like a no structure player. Like if he doesn't have structure, he will be great.
Yeah. Like I don't like his fit on any really good team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Damn, you're saying he's
I feel
toxic?
like I don't think he's toxic. I just don't think his play style is very conducive to winning.
Not the Warriors. Definitely not the
Yeah,
Warriors.
especially not the
Oh,
Warriors.
so he's a team cancer. He makes your team unable to be good, is what you're saying.
You're doing some great journalism over Gabe.
No doubt. No doubt. I just feel that way about certain players across the league. Like Sabonis is one of those guys. Like I really enjoy Sabonis's game. I don't think he's that conducive to winning as like a top player on a team. But he has to be a top player on a team because he's really good with the ball in his hands and is a really good playmaker.
Westbrook.
Same thing with Russell Westbrook. Yeah.
Do y'all feel that way about DeMar?
I don't feel that way about DeMar as strongly, but to a point, yeah, for sure.
Yes. Like I think
he's
if DeMar
not great off the ball, but as a primary guy, you're fine. But that's
Now,
all
do you
you
feel
are.
that way about James Harden?
yes.
Currently, yes.
Say
In his prime,
28
no.
Say like 20. We'll say James Harden like 2019.
I don't know because we saw Harden last year go to Brooklyn, and as a third option, he was comfortable. But I don't know. 2019 Harden was just like better than everybody. I don't think he was producing the same if somebody else had the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do anything without the ball.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's really how most star players are, though, if we're being honest. Like, a lot of star players, like, if they're not the focal point, they're not doing that much.
No.
It takes a very select few to, like, not be that kind of guy.
I think that's one of the best parts of AAU, to be honest. Just because if you think, imagine you, like, only had high school basketball, and it's like when the NBA players are, like, the top, like, 0.1%, like, half of them high school coaches that might not have that much experience or anything, and they see this like 5-star guy right in front of them, but they're giving them the ball every possession.
Yeah.
Like they're not saying, hey, we're gonna run some like sets and set things up for you and like run the offense this way. They're saying, no, this guy's a 5-star. Nobody can stop him. Go get like 40 a game.
I think it's good to have a nice balance though, because you have to learn how to play within systems at times, because then you get to certain cases where guys are great hoopers, but they're not good basketball players. Like
that's what I mean. Like you get into that situation. Like that's why I like kind of the AAU system, because then you're not just limited to like people that like live around you.
Okay. Yep.
You can go and like join a team with like other like top prospects and then
teach
play
you
like
how to
actual
play.
yeah.
Teach you how to play with other stars. Yep. Okay. Yeah. AAU super teams are crazy, bro.
Which I mean, a lot of like top guys might end up enrolling in like a private school or something, but that's also you got to be pretty rich for that. I'm not gonna lie. So it's like if you're just like a regular person that has some dreams to go far, it's a good thing.
Yeah, there's an AAU team in my area, in like the Dayton area of Ohio. I think it was like 2017. It was like all the 2019 kids from the area that were like, 3-4 star recruits. Their team was like ridiculous. I'm like, damn, I know y'all ain't losing that many tournaments, bro.
Playing 6 games a week and wearing their body down,
bro. Yeah.
I
always thought about AAU like it kind of like teaches you like to like play through stuff for real, but it might be bad at the same time too.
Yeah,
positive.
It definitely has its pros and cons for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I remember I played 3 games in one day and I was burnt out. I was so tired.
I don't know if I've ever done 3
what was your
in a day.
stats?
That's
what stat
tough.
line were you dropping?
Man, I think one of the games I had like the first game was just bad. Like we got blitzed. Like we got our ass beat. We got our ass beat. Second game was like probably like 10, like 6 and 6 or something like that.
Dang, all around.
And then the third game, I think I only hit like 1 shot. I think I only took like 1 or 2 shots. So I was tired. And they was running zone. So I probably only had I think I had 3. And I don't remember anything else. I just remember we should have won that game, but we didn't. I think it's because I wasn't taking shots. I was being very passive.
Calling that boy triple-double Tyrik.
I'd be getting yanked off the court if I wasn't shooting. It's just the way it was. Our coach was so adamant about that. It's like, if you're not looking to shoot, you are not playing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Our AAU team, we were kind of bad. Like we were like the B team, so like we just weren't that talented for real. And I was the only point guard, so I played every minute of the game.
I feel that, man. I feel that.
I'm being very conservative. Like, I'm not pushing the ball up the court. I'm just kind of like going through the motions.
I
kind of couldn't do that because we didn't have any other perimeter scorers, and I was the best playmaker, and I'm the only guy that can handle the ball. So it's like we're cooked. Like, we can't really do much.
Yep.
Tyrik was really the lone star. He knows how it feels to be 2017 Westbrook.
I wish I was a star. If I was a star, I would have carried us to some wins, but no, I was just I was a good player who was asked to be the best player, and that's just not me. If I'm the best player on any team, then that's just bad news for real.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like my first year of organized basketball like that.
Jerry Stackhouse?
We were in a U13 league with 2 11-year-olds and 4 12-year-olds. And we were going up against a bunch of teams that we later found out were playing with a bunch of 15-year-olds.
Oh my God.
And it was just not a good time until the final when we realized everyone was overage and there was only one team that qualified, and it was great. That was great.
Very scandalous, bro.
Then I just Euro stepped all game, and it was a good time.
Man, I always think about that with like so many of the foreign players. They're like Thon Maker was. I swear he was not 19.
I know y'all remember Shabazz Muhammad. They was like, man, he might be a little older too. They was saying Buddy Hill was like 25 or something like that.
Bro, I remember they said Serge Ibaka was like hella old or something.
They said they didn't know how old Manu Ball was. He didn't have a birth certificate.
Yeah, like people say like Serge Ibaka is 32.
He's 32 now?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I feel like
right.
He looked like he's like 37.
Nah, dude, Serge Ibaka got to be like 38, bro. That is an old man.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah. AU was some wild times. Let me make this. If I'm the best player on an organized basketball team, that's bad. But pickup, I can get busy in pickup. For sure. But organized, nah. If I'm the best player, we're probably not a good team, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel that. Especially considering we were usually always the smallest town in any tournament, so every other team just had more people to choose from. It was not a good time.
I mean,
hence our loss by like 90 to a team from Calgary. That was a good time.
Oh my God.
I don't think we even put up 20 points. That was rough.
Hey, I think I'm putting in more work playing organized than playing pickup. I'm gonna be honest.
You think so?
Yeah.
Just like I feel like I would be a system guy, running the flow of the offense, like just like making the plays through the playbook, hella textbook versus like just going out and dogging people. Cause bro, I'm not athletic.
I just feel like when I play pickup, I feel more free. I could always play in the system, but I feel like when I have a coach, I just try so much not to like mess up, like just to be very sound and solid instead of trying to do too much. But like pickup, I just don't care. Like I'm gonna just be free. But I see what you're saying, Gabe. I do see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's because like I feel like it's like a lot easier to score, and I find out that sometimes even like playing pickup like 4s or 5s versus playing pickup like 2s or 3s. Like when there's like people like moving off ball and stuff and just things happening, I find myself getting lanes so much easier.
Yeah,
I don't have to do like some like crazy move to shake somebody because they're not worried about anything else except me.
Yeah, when you got a good coach and organized basketball, like you're just gonna get so many easy looks.
Yeah.
Like freshman year basketball, I was getting so many just wide open threes off of plays. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, half the time pickups and 5s is like 3 guys standing on the perimeter doing nothing, 1 guy with the ball, and 1 guy kind of sort of standing under the rim that has no post moves.
I feel that. It actually shocked me like I know it was still only high school basketball, but the lack of post moves that some of these guys I would play with that are like 6'4", 6'5". I'm like, man, I'm the best post player on the team. I'm 5'8".
It's
It's hilarious. This is my favorite drill. That's my favorite drills to do in practice. I would just cook everyone in the paint. It was so fun.
It's because you
All
gotta
about the
have guard
footwork.
skills. Because it's like if you don't have all those guard skills and all that, like one, your game's probably not gonna translate to the next level. Two, just playing pickup with people, bro. You don't want to be that guy where it's like, oh, I'm gonna dribble, you go sit under the rim and get my rebound and play defense. Like then when you get into that situation, it's like you don't want to play. So it's like you gotta have guard skills no matter who you are, just to have fun.
No,
For sure.
Unless you could just shoot.
Oh yeah, dude. I would literally never dribble a basketball if I had like a freaking JJ Redick jump shot.
It's crazy because when I was like middle school through like maybe my first couple years of high school, shooting was by far like my best skill. Like not even close, bro. Like I really could not. I was like an average ball handler at best. Pause. But like at a certain point, like my playmaking and like dribbling skills like past my shooting. Like I don't think I shoot as well anymore. For real. Just tough.
I started getting my jump shot good, and then I put on muscle and lost a bunch of weight, and now I think I don't think I understand my body well enough to like I think it like messed up my jumper.
Takes time, man. I think that was between grade 7 and grade 8. Maybe it was the year before. I put on like 7 inches and 50 pounds over the span of 6 months. And for the next year, I was just an absolute potato. I forgot how to dribble. I forgot how to shoot. I went from being a point guard to a center. And then when I went back to being a point guard the year after, I had to figure out how to be a point guard again. And it's weird. It takes time. It takes time to adjust, for sure.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I went through like one like kind of crazy growth spurt, but like luckily everybody else grew at the same time, so like it didn't throw me off of my position until I got to high school. Then it was like, yeah, you're a guard, like you're a 1 or 2 at best. So I'm like, okay, it makes sense. Like my first year playing basketball, I was like the tallest player on the team. Had to play center, and I'm like, bro, this is ass. Then I think like 6th grade, I was still probably the tallest on the team, but I was running like 3-4 positions mainly, like the 3rd or 4. Then once we got to like high school, it's like, yeah, you're a guard. And freshman year is the first time I ever played point guard in my life, and it was probably my best year playing basketball too.
I think naturally, I would slide in as a little natural 2 guard.
You're like 6'6", Gabe.
6'6",
My bad.
and maybe wearing stilts. I'm only 5'14". I'm not even 6 foot.
5'14".
Yeah.
Tough. I wish I was 6 foot. I dreamed about being 6'3", 6'4". Didn't get close.
Yeah,
anything is possible, bro.
I cared while I was playing, and then as soon as I finished high school, I was like, yeah, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
It was only for athletic reasons.
I'm the height now where it doesn't really matter. Like I'm not too short, but I ain't too tall, so it's like that's all good, man.
I promise you, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times that being 6 foot has actually given me a significant advantage doing something.
That's what my dad be saying. He'd be like, man, it's better to be short. I'm like, yes, says the person that's 6 foot tall. Okay, I'll ask y'all. Did y'all think Jimmy Butler's shot was a bad shot or not?
No.
I loved it. I thought it was a good shot.
No, I thought it was a good shot.
Because if that would have went in, bro, that would have been probably as iconic as like they have a timeout, decide not to use it. Steph Curry from way downtown, bang!
Nah, if they won the championship, if he hit that and they went on to win the championship, that would be like Kawhi Leonard-esque for real. That would be on that level.
When Jordan hit the shot, did they even do anything that season, or did they just lose to the Pistons?
They lost to the Pistons.
That's what I thought. That's what I feel like. Even if they would have lost the championship, like that Jordan shot is still iconic, even though they didn't even go to the finals.
Yeah. I don't know.
So same thing with like Dame's shot, but yeah, it would if they would have won the title, they would have been in that Kawhi tier.
I thought it was a good. He obviously could have got a better shot, but the way the game was being played, he had hit that same shot earlier in the game too. So, when it went up, I thought it was going in. They had all the momentum in the world too. So, I was like, yeah, that's not a bad shot. But I knew people were going to be like, oh, that's a terrible shot. You had Al Horford backpedaling. I don't know. I could see both arguments, but
It being Al Horford is why I like the shot. That's like the main reason
Yeah.
why. Because I'm like, Al Horford is such a good paint protector.
And he did finish over Al, but it was an offensive foul that didn't get called. So I don't know. You know, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I didn't
It
mind
was-
it. You could make the argument that sure you could look for a better shot, but I don't know. It wasn't a bad shot.
And he took it early in the
Bad
clock.
shot.
He took it early in the clock too. So like, they still could have played the foul game.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he was carrying that team on his back though. So it's like if I'm
That's
him, I don't know
yeah.
if I'm trying to play make.
Yeah, facts.
Or you want to go to overtime when your half court offense has been pathetic the entire series, essentially, other than Jimmy Butler creating. I don't know.
And I think he played like every minute of the game.
He played
Like,
the win.
I'm-
He played
I'm
the
not
win.
going to OT.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played the win. He was not trying to play to lose.
I
Or
like
not-
that though. I would much rather play to take the lead and put the pressure on the other team than tie it up, and then they have
Yes.
20 seconds to go down and either you lose or you go to OT.
Yes.
In that scenario, if you take a 2 there, and barring an and 1, which is probably pretty unlikely on Al Horford of all people, there's no way where you put the Celtics in a situation where they can lose in regulation.
Yes. I saw somebody compare it to, I don't know if y'all remember in 2017 when the Celtics played the Wizards and John Wall hit that 3-pointer to win game 6 to force game 7. It's basically the same exact shot, like down 2. We can
One of
play
my
for-
favorite teams. That Wizards team was insane, and I'm so sad that we didn't see more healthy John Wall and Bradley
Yes.
Beal.
Facts.
Yes.
What a great duo. I'm kind of sick that their last run was like when the Raptors beat them in round 1.
I mean, that was their last like really good season. Every season after that, I think they were like an 8 seed.
When they were an 8 seed that year, because that was when the Raptors were the 1 seed and got
Yeah.
Yeah.
swept by LeBron and a bunch of nobodies. But
Happens
that
to
year
the best of us.
I think they were like only an 8 seed that year because John Wall missed like 30 or 40 games.
And that was the beginning and the end of John Wall.
Yes, it was the beginning of the end, but that little playoff series was. I think they took us to like 6 or so. It was
I got a question for y'all. I hope I didn't already ask this, but me and my friends was having a discussion a couple weeks ago. They were saying John Morant right now or prime John Wall. 2017 John Wall.
Prime
I'm taking-
John Wall.
I'm taking John Wall.
Yeah. I
I'll
gotta
take
take
it,
John
John
Wall.
I mean, John Morant right now is played like 60 games, so he missed like 20 something games.
John Wall.
John Morant's not the playmaker John Wall was.
no.
Yes.
Jaw's
Wall's
probably
a
a better
better-
shooter, but he's not like a great shooter. Finishing, I would probably take Ja barely, but John Wall was nasty finishing. I would rather watch John Wall finish, as weird as that sounds, because John Morant's so electric.
Pause. My fault. But John Wall made a lot of people a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like a
he did.
lot of money. Like Otto
Talking
Porter
about the
got a lot
Otto
of money.
Porter, how about Polish Hammer,
Bush Hammer.
Made him like 60 million, bro.
Marcin Gortat, bro? John Wall, yeah, he was different. I feel like I had him as like my like third best point guard in the league in 2017. It was literally Steph, Russ, and then Wall.
He was consensus top 5. And I feel like he was like the best point guard in the East. And I feel like that was pretty like understood.
I don't think it was
Yeah.
understood because Isaiah Thomas averaged like 29 that season.
I mean, yeah, but that was like a year. That was
But John
1 year of
Wall
IT
was-
being
There was
great.
no longevity there.
But there was also Kyrie Irving in the East at that point as well, and there's a lot of big Kyrie fans.
I think John Wall was better than Kyrie at the time.
Yeah.
So
he
do
definitely
I. I
was.
mean, I was a John Wall guy, but I think it was a 3-man race.
Bro, people forget like John Wall was really that nice, bro. Like he
Yeah.
was really, really good.
Yeah.
Like
Number 1 pick for a reason. He was not a bust at all. They got like
really good.
7, 8 really good years out of John Wall.
Yes. And the Wizards were a team notoriously that never did anything. And they were
Yeah.
a very competitive team with, John Wall's peak years. They
Conference Finals.
LeBron and them, they was ducking the Wizards, bro. People forget they were ducking the Wizards.
Come
that
on,
year.
bro. Nah, one of the best shots of LeBron's career was that turnaround 3
But they purposely
Wizards.
tanked at the end of the season so they didn't have to see them in the second round.
I'm just saying.
Not saying that the Cavs
LeBron versus, I think
lost,
I
but
think it was 2018. LeBron had like a 57-point game against the Wizards.
that was 2018
Yeah,
because Derrick Rose was on the court. I remember that game.
That
was the most effortless 57 points I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, LeBron had his way with the Wizards. Like, people want to talk about LeBron but he was bullying the Wizards and the Celtics just the same.
Why did you have to bring that up, man? This is already the time of year where I see a bunch of flashbacks of LeBron doing my team dirty. And you just had to bring that up.
Your team is in the finals right now, bro. I don't know why you even
That's
that.
true.
Like,
bro, if we win this ring, I advise y'all just mute me on Twitter for like a few weeks. Because I might not.
Nah, bro. Because every time the Celtics do anything, I literally just look for you and I look for Jack the tweet. You and Jack Emerson every time.
Nah, I'll be going through my tweets like the next day. I'll be like, people probably look at me like I'm crazy. Because I really just, everything that sticks out, I make a tweet about it. Like the Curry, like run and drop covers. Like, why are y'all doing that? Why?
Dubs by 20 tonight. Dubs by 20 plus, to be honest with you. I'm so serious. I think the Celtics are going to have like 90 points.
I can't buy in on that.
Yeah, I think Golden State will win, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they win. But
give me 110-90 final score.
110 to
or
90.
something similar.
That'd be random. We're about to get like a Damian Lee game. So that's where like 18 points off the bench.
We getting Jonathan Kuminga, come bucket.
Now that's the worst nickname ever.
Nah.
That is terrible.
I think the worst nickname ever is probably Corey Maggetti's.
What's his?
Bad porn.
Bad porn?
Yeah.
Never heard that.
Really?
Either. I
That's
haven't heard
news.
that one.
Corey Maggette, he was a bucket though back in the day.
I'm pretty sure they called him that because it was like it looks really bad, but it works.
Corey Maggette. You know what's crazy? It's funny we're playing the Warriors in the finals because when I started watching basketball, the Celtics were my team, but the Warriors were like my favorite team that was bad because of Monte Ellis. Like that's one of my favorite players ever.
Yeah.
But they were terrible. That was like Curry's rookie year. They were garbage. We won like 25 games.
Okay, it says Maggette was an overpaid member of the Warriors when he was dubbed bad porn, with the justification that there was a lot of penetration and scoring, but whoever was watching still wasn't happy with what they were seeing.
That's a terrible. Yeah, that's
rough. That's rough.
The worst nickname. The mailman is low-key a terrible nickname just because the mailman doesn't deliver on Sundays. Just like it was cool because it's like, oh yeah, you're so good in the post that you're the mailman. Like that goes hard, but then they twisted it on him, and it's like the mailman doesn't deliver on Sunday, and then they lost.
That's
just ruined
karma.
the whole thing.
That's karma.
Karma for getting a 13-year-old pregnant when you're 20.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck Karma alone. Fuck Karma alone, man. We don't fuck
Harold Baby Jordan Minor, Moochie Norris.
Baby Jordan.
Is Booby Gibson a good or a bad nickname?
Booby. I think it's good because that's how people define him. Like nobody knows his name is Daniel Gibson. It's Booby. Booby Gibson.
They said Stevie Franchise is a bad nickname because he only made the playoffs once.
That's besides the point. That's besides the point.
Spud Webb got his nickname because his grandma thought his head was misshapen and looked like the Soviet satellite Sputnik.
What's his real name?
It doesn't even say it here. What is his Spud Webb? Anthony Jerome Webb.
Anthony Webb. That sounds so basic. My dad met Spud Webb. He actually hooped with Spud Webb before. Fun fact. It was Spud Webb and I think Artis Gilmore? I think so, yeah. I think, yeah.
Apparently, at one point, they called Shaq the Big Maravich.
Like Pistol Pete.
I guess they said
Interesting.
back in his Laker days in a playoff series against Portland, he sank 9 free throws in a row, which is about as likely as getting struck by lightning.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Y'all know what Dwight Howard calls Jameer Nelson?
Fat ass.
Apparently, Dwight Howard called him Crib Midget.
Jameer
Ooh, Richardson.
Nelson looked like he was like 250 pounds, bro, playing the point guard position. He was nice though, but he looked so just fat.
They said Jelly Bean Bryant is one of the worst nicknames of all time.
Yeah, that's a bad list.
Joe Jelly, I think Jelly Bean is like, if you got that jelly, I think like that's
Kobe's dad
that's
was
kind of
nice.
nice.
Kobe's dad
Plus,
actually.
it gave us Bean, and so it's like it just is kind of immortalized.
Is that maybe the best father-son duo?
Nah, Dell and Steph. Dell was literally the all-time leading scorer for the Hornets.
It's the Hornets.
Like, yeah, but he was like, you're an all-time leading scorer of a franchise.
It's the Hornets.
Bruh, Jim Bryant isn't close to the leading scorer of anything.
Didn't Kemba pass up Dale?
He did.
So he's not the leading scorer anymore.
Okay, but he's second. Jim Bryant is not even like top like 30.
It was in existence. It was in existence for like 5 years.
And nobody passed it until like 2018.
It's the Hornets. Nobody stays there for that long.
Bruh.
And they had like 6 name changes.
Dell Curry is better than Jim Bryant. Significantly.
Kobe's significantly better than Steph Curry.
Curry is like a top 15 player ever. And I have Kobe at like 6 or 7. Kobe's
consensus top 5 to me.
Way better.
And Kobe, he has 2 Finals MVP. Steph Curry doesn't have any.
I promise you, Steph is way closer to Kobe than Jim Bryant is to Dell.
Nah, I don't think so.
Devin, I think you're gonna have to break this tie.
This is all you guys. I'm just having a good time listening.
Give me the beans over the Currys, man.
Man, give me LeBron and Bronny, man. Get out of here.
bro.
Give me Gary Payton and Gary Payton Jr.
Get out of here. Honestly,
I'd probably have to go with the Currys if I had to choose, but it's tight.
That's fair. I'm staying pat though. Give me the Bryants.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Number 1 on this list of worst nicknames ever is putting the first initial of your first name with a shortened version of their last name, or using a combination of initials and uniform number, with the exception of AK-47.
Yes.
And it lists D12, T-Mac, D-Wade, D-Will, Mello, Sheed, D-Fish, etc.
The white
It is pretty lazy. Yeah, I think PG-13s is also good, but a lot of them are really lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, PG-13 is pretty good. CP3.
Looking like CP0 out there, man.
CP3
literally aged like 10 years in like 2 days. Bro literally went from like he went from like timeless, like one of the best aging players of all time, to just being dog water.
Point God to point fraud? Question mark?
To a team that lost the conference finals at 5. I promise you, like Phoenix played terrible and they deserved to lose against the Mavericks, but you can't. They were taking the Warriors to at more than 5.
Yeah, the Suns played. They just seem like they played down the competition.
Yeah, definitely.
The Suns, man.
And CP3 is always hurt. Always hurt.
Yeah. Oh my God. The best thing on Twitter was like during Game 7, they're like, "Bro, I swear to God, if CP3 comes out with like his fist or his hands wrapped after the game,
Bruh.
be sick."
I remember LeBron did that in the 2018 finals. I'm like, Bron, come on, bro. You was not doing that after game 1 when you dropped 51 points, bro.
Thanks.
Like
Thanks.
Where does that rank on the most iconic moments of all time?
which part?
Like
That's more like infamous than iconic.
I think it's pretty iconic, but I feel like if you show any NBA fan that photo, they know exactly what it is.
It's up.
Yeah.
It's up there.
It's definitely up there.
I still think George Hill's the real villain, man.
He is. He should have made the free throw.
Like
Then
dude
it
was
would've
like
even been
85% free throw shooter and
Because
missed
then
them.
at that point, if Kevin Wayne Durant comes down the court and hits a game winner on you, okay, that's whatever. But bruh, make your free throws.
George Hill's the real villain in that situation, in my opinion.
Make your free throws.
And there's no, I mean, JR did get the rebound, but KD was right there. He might have sent that stuff to like the 7th row, bro. If we being honest.
Facts.
You don't think J.R. Smith is
He might have smoked the
getting a
layup.
bucket?
He might have smoked the layup.
J.R.?
Yeah.
Nah,
Henny-
J.R.'s getting a bucket on KD.
Henny JR might have smoked the layup, man. I don't know.
That's
What
an NCAA athlete right there, bro.
would y'all say is the most iconic moment ever? Like photo-wise, because Gabe brought up the LeBron thing. I would say AI stepping over Ty Lue's like that's iconic.
I think the most iconic moment is Game 6 shot, Jordan, 98.
That's a dope picture too. Yeah.
That's
Like
up
the
there.
last shot
That's
of
up
Jordan on the Bulls, hitting a game winner to win the championship. That's
Another one that's more modern is Kawhi's shot, like the sideline view,
Yeah.
like when he squatted down and the bench was behind him.
That's a really good one.
of the
That's-
past like 10 to 15 years, the most iconic picture period is probably LeBron doing a
Don't remind me.
or like Kobe like on the table after number 5.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
I feel like Dame's got a couple of decent ones too. They're not quite as high leverage,
Dame with
but
the bye-bye.
it's got a couple of good ones.
Who else? Man, Curry don't got none, man. I'm just saying.
Nah, that picture
Kyrie's
with
shot
the
as well.
3 in the air and like Curry like pointing to the crowd from this season. Like he like pointed at some dude and it just goes in. That's a hard photo.
That was a hard photo. People's like, this is the best picture of all time. Like, no, it's not, but it's a great photo.
Curry has some good photos.
Definitely, yeah. He did something like that in the Mavs series too. Like he shot at 3 and just instantly like turned around. But I think it was on accident, but still, it was dope.
Curry, they're taking Curry for granted, man.
He's about to lose this championship. He's never won a real finals.
Never won a real final. Neither has LeBron, didn't you know?
Yeah, he's actually 0 for 10.
LeBron's actually 0 for 74 all the time because he either was like too scared to be born, either he was too scared to play, or then he like
Or he just didn't make the finals or didn't win it.
he couldn't get past the Celtics. In 2012, literally the baby Thunder, he got bailed out by Ray Allen. What happened in 2016? Carried by Kyrie?
Do y'all be seeing those tweets anymore? Because I don't see them
Yes.
anymore.
The
No, I
copy
don't see them
pastas,
anymore.
bro. Dude,
I really don't see
I
those
love copy
anymore.
pastas. It's like
I think they're funny, bro. I'm
when
gonna be
it's
honest.
like I've been a fan of this team for 35 years, and this was the last straw. My kids are crying. My wife is crying because I was crying. My TV is broken. We embarrassed our entire family in front of guests, and they had to go home. I will not be supporting you anymore.
Oh my god. Nah, those are hilarious. bro.
Chris
I don't
Paul not showing up against the Dallas Mavericks is just too much.
I don't think I've seen those since like earlier in the season Lakers. But it's so funny.
care. Oh my god. Bro, that was a perfect impersonation, bro.
I just
Crying.
listen.
Oh
Personally,
my god.
I'm all for the entertainment as long as people know it's entertainment. Like, I think way too many people take themselves way too seriously.
Nah, facts.
Like, like a lot of the top guys in like the media game have some really stupid takes. You know why they're there? It's because they're entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perkins, Stephen A.
Obviously, you got to know your stuff, but it's like if you're not entertaining, who cares?
Yeah,
At the end of the
it's facts. I mean, at the end of the day, like the casual fan cares more about that entertainment value than someone like JJ Redick giving the most accurate takes relative to some of the other analysts.
Hey.
Like it's all about the entertainment value.
JJ he becomes entertaining though because he like goes after people.
Yeah, if JJ
Like,
was
he'll, like,
next to
clap
someone
back.
who also was just making the same type of takes he was, then it wouldn't be as entertaining. But because he's going up against that other side that's just making some wild ass take, it makes it more entertaining for sure.
Okay,
the faces he be having are priceless, bro.
I'll be a hot take machine.
You said you'll be the hot take machine?
Yeah, like how Donovan Mitchell's going to the Heat this offseason and then win the finals next year.
Okay. I saw Stephen A. Smith said the other day that Michael Jordan ruined basketball.
KD responded to that.
I know. Another thing, I'm all for the KD Twitter activities. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
Yeah,
I think that Kobe Bryant was terrible for basketball discourse because the thing where it's like people hate players for celebrating anything other than a title win. Stop. Are people allowed to be happy? Like just because Kobe didn't smile and said job's not finished, people are allowed to be happy.
What's there to be happy about?
people are really out here gatekeeping celebrations and happiness.
Gatekeeping, smiling. Oh my God. Remember when like Ben Simmons was smiling in Brooklyn and they're like, oh, what happened to his depression? Shut up. Stop talking.
Yeah. Y'all remember when LeBron was at the Super Bowl? It was like the Lakers season's in shambles and this man celebrating at the Super Bowl.
Like, bro, are you not allowed to have
man.
a life?
Nah, it's all
People really
basketball.
can't win.
Bro, if you're a doctor and like say like you can't like cure a patient or something like that, that's way bigger stakes. But if that doctor then goes out to dinner with his wife and has like a good date, nobody's coming after him. And the bad thing that happened at his work is a lot worse than the Lakers losing the game. I'm gonna be honest.
Like they expect players not to go on vacation after the season if they don't win a championship or anything, bro. Like, dang, y'all just want these dudes to be straight basketball machine robots.
Yeah. Basketball players can't post no vacation pics, and everybody's saying Cancun on 3.
Like I think KD was he was in Greece or something. They was like, somebody was like, KD's out on vacation, LeBron's in the gym working. I'm like, man, LeBron's on vacation too. What are y'all talking about?
Giannis just made his trip to the Acropolis, man. He about to be praying to Zeus for some getting past the Celtics.
Why is he on vacation, man? He played bad.
He should be working on free throws.
Man, he should be working on better Game 7 performances. Giannis overrated?
Nah. Giannis. In Game 7 against Brooklyn, he should have lost. KD just got some big ass toes, but he played good.
And Chris Middleton in overtime was big, so
that was terrible narrative.
All-star Chris Middleton.
Bro, that whole the narrative of freaking Giannis getting like carried by Chris Middleton. Giannis isn't an alpha dog. Chris Middleton's their closer. Clearly, They said Giannis was robbing.
I forgot.
Who said that? Was that Perk?
That was was that Perk? Yeah, it was Perk.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He was
all time.
Giannis is Robin. Chris Middleton is Batman. Like that.
It's those 08 Celtics players always having the worst takes, bro.
True.
Not wrong.
True.
They just been mean to all hell.
I made a tweet the other day, like, man, Paul Pierce's analyst career really ruined how people think about him as a basketball player.
I'm just like thinking of the narrative around these people. Y'all remember the pictures of Ray Allen, like when Steph broke the record, and they were like, "Oh, Ray looks salty as hell right now." Like that whole 08 Celtics team just mean Doc Rivers slander daily. Paul Pierce slander, Perk slander. KG's probably been the one the most safe. But that's because KG's literally been talking bullshit since 1998.
Glenn Davis. Bro,
Glenn
this
Davis
man
went to jail for like
this
like
man Big
insurance
Baby
fraud.
like be all over social media. Like, bro, like what are you trying to do? Like he just be posting random videos. Like if y'all ever just want to like, I don't know if it's even laugh because some of it's just like what are you doing? Like he has a TikTok account. Go look at it. Y'all either gonna laugh at it or just be like, what the hell is wrong with
The
dude?
team is crazy.
Or both.
Rondo's meme to all hell because the Chris Paul thing. Everybody on that team is just memed.
Hey,
Nobody is safe.
they're champions.
They really be acting like they were a dynasty, like they literally won one ring.
They should have been a dynasty, but they weren't.
Should have been.
Yeah, they shouldn't have lost to Orlando.
KG was hurt that year. I think if KG was there, they probably would have at least went back to the finals. They won 62 games with KG missing like a good portion of the season. And then the next year, they had a 13-point lead in Game 7 and blew it. So, yeah.
He's
Shit
just bringing
happens.
up his own bad memories at this point.
Nah. Me and my dad was talking about that the other day. Like, yeah. I don't know why you brought this up, Pops, but dark times.
Yeah, I've like literally the only time I've ever really been kind of heartbroken as a Raptors fan was like
2018 was heartbreaking. You won't lie.
because game
I
one
won
was
59 games.
No. Okay,
I
game
thought y'all
one.
were winning that series. I
No.
was heartbroken.
Game
we gotta play
one-
LeBron.
Game one was heartbreaking because we led for the first 47 minutes.
That's
After
tough.
we lost game one, I'm like, nope, it's over.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that
That's
shot ruined
it.
me.
There was so morale, like, because they
The
had
thing-
swept us like the year
yeah.
before, and it was just such like a crushing loss. I'm just like, nope, that's over. So the other like 2 games, I think I like kind of watched game 2, and then game 3 and 4, I was like, bro, I'm not watching this unless it's close. And I like literally like game 4 was like a 20-point game at like halftime.
Yeah. The thing
Yeah,
about
it was
y'all,
just
the thing
crazy.
about y'all against LeBron and the Cavs, y'all would always give yourselves false hope. Like
Yeah.
2016, I think, when y'all were in the conference finals. 2-2 series going back to Cleveland, and y'all got destroyed in the next 2 games.
Yeah.
And then the 2018 series, like you said, y'all dominated game 1. Game 2 was just like LeBron started hitting crazy shots. And then game 3, y'all had this fake ass comeback. And then LeBron hit that game winner, which is just like y'all just giving y'all fans hope for no reason.
I think the bubble series was pretty heartbreaking for me. I'll be honest. That game 7 where Marcus Smart became Steph Curry.
And LeBron, I remember he had that chase down block.
Yeah.
I think that was on Norm Powell, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a funny series. I thought the winner of that series was going to the finals, but I was wrong.
I would have loved to have seen the Raptors versus Miami. I think that would have been a fun one.
Believe it or not, I picked y'all to go to the finals before the bubble. Y'all was my pick.
That bubble season, that was such an underrated Raptors season. Just off of that, like Kawhi left us high and dry, and then we went from a 2nd seed to still a 2nd seed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
y'all
a
was
very
good.
underrated season.
And
It was a
Kawhi
really
just
good
for
team
real
still.
like left. I don't even think it was a sign and trade. He just left.
No, he just left. It's just a straight up cap space signing,
Yeah.
which never happens anymore. But
Yeah, it's always
Everything's a sign and trade now.
yeah, exactly. Cap space means nothing anymore. It's all about having contracts you can trade.
I
Facts.
don't know if y'all saw the thing where the Warriors and the Nets have paid more in luxury tax in the last
The
year
rest
than
of the
like
league
anybody else
combined.
combined.
Yeah,
That's
that was
insane.
crazy. That was crazy.
I still don't understand really what the luxury tax like means, but I just know people don't want to pay it.
It's because there's like a salary cap, but then there's like a hard cap. So it's like if you're above a certain, like if you're above like the soft cap, you have to pay a fine, basically, which is the luxury tax.
Mm.
And then I think the hard cap is like this is actually the most money you can possibly spend.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
don't know how it works. There's some whole equation behind it. Like the more you go over it, the more it multiplies. So it's like it used to be like for $1 over, you'd pay an extra $1, but now it like multiplies the further you go
But
up.
it's like
So
the Warriors
know.
paying a bunch of luxury taxes. Like, okay, that's cool because it's like they're in the finals. Obviously, they just want to keep their players. They've been playing here forever. The Nets literally going out, sweeping the first round, paying that much in luxury tax is just embarrassing.
I mean, they're playing the future NBA champs, so I mean, it makes sense.
I remember on
Okay.
Twitter too. As soon as that tweet came out, it was like, "Oh, I thought Golden State were built, not bought." I was like,
Yes, that is
"Just
how
because you're
re-signing
paying guys
works.
doesn't mean you bought them."
You literally
Still not, but
you re-signed them, bro. You didn't buy them away from somebody else. They just stayed with you.
they acting like everybody's supposed to take a pay cut or something to stay with the team.
Apparently.
Twitter's a funny place, especially NBA Twitter, man. Funny yet annoying at times, but entertaining.
It's like if you buy a car and then you like get your car repaired, and then say like they're like, "Oh, you just bought a car." Like, no, I just paid money to keep my car working.
That's an interesting analogy, but makes sense.
I mean, most of the people that made those comments probably have never driven a car, so it works.
Literally.
They wouldn't
Yeah,
understand.
at all. Speaking of cars, bro, I can't keep paying for gas, man.
Facts.
I don't want to drive nowhere. I drive to work, dude. I was going to the movie theater with a couple of my friends the other day, and I was driving, and I'm like, yo,
Bro,
it's like an extra. It's like the movie theater was like a 15-minute drive, and I'm like, dude, this is too far. Gas is too expensive.
I'll drive 25 minutes to work every day, there and back.
You losing
Insane.
like an hour's paycheck just doing that.
Just driving, bro. It's insane. Like, and it's almost $5 in Ohio, bro. Like,
Yes,
that's crazy.
$4.79 last time I got gas.
That's crazy, man.
I think I was a bit over $70 the other day when I filled up my Toyota Corolla. That should not be $70 to fill, but here we are.
Bro, you're bold. I don't even have the guts to try and fill my tank up all the way, bro. I just fill it up. $15 here, $15 there.
I probably do like $20.
Yeah,
$20 here and there.
20
go like,
20 is the most I'll do.
because I get more conservative with my gas. Like,
Yes.
if I look at my tank and I have a full tank, I'll be like, oh, I can drive to this place a half hour away. But if I got like 3/8 of a tank, I'm like, I don't
Slow.
know if I can do that. So my gas lasts longer.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, for this year for Christmas, just give me gas cards, man. That's it.
Yes.
That's all I need, bro. It's just insane.
For Christmas, give me a Tesla, bro. I'm charging it.
That's my graduation gift to myself is a Tesla. After I pay my car off, I'm getting a Tesla.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it all planned. Well, not all planned out, but that's after I graduate, I'm getting a Tesla at some point. That's all I know.
My gift is going to be moving somewhere random halfway across the country, probably.
That's smooth. You seem
No
like the type.
ties.
You seem like the type that would do that.
I don't got no ties or nothing, man. Like, I'm chilling, man. I get out of
Respect
college.
it.
It's time to go.
You feel like you're more of an East Coast or West Coast person.
I've never been west of Chicago, so I'd like to go west and see what it's like.
That's fair. Respect it. I feel like I've always lived on the either Central or East Coast, but I feel like I'm just more suited for the East, for real. I'm more of a LeBron. I'm more of a LeBron type of person. I feel like I'm comfortable in the East.
Catching strays, LeBron catching strays. Nah, but I feel like the West would be cool, but more of like an Arizona type West than like a California type West.
Yeah. Arizona seems more like – it seems like all the benefits of a Cali except probably a little cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems just as good for real.
Catch me living in Phoenix, man.
It's going to be hot.
That's
Sunscreen, bro.
That's the thing. You only have one set of clothes, though. You know how much, like, I know I'm not going to say it's cheaper to live there, but you know how much less clothes you have to buy because, like, you don't have to prepare for, like, 15 different kinds of weather.
No, that's true. Yeah. And they got good sports teams still. A good market for, they have 3 of the 4 major sports, I think.
They got all 4.
They have a hockey team?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
Coyotes.
It's irrelevant, and they're playing in a
Coyotes.
2,000 capacity college stadium where they can't even put their logo on the ice next season. But they do have a team.
I feel like most people just think about the Cardinals and the Suns, but the D-backs and
Diamondbacks, yeah.
Coyotes exist.
Yeah.
It's still a good market.
Yeah.
4 teams. Interesting.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of 3 Point Weekly. Be sure to let us know your pick for the rest of the NBA Finals. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode, and we'll see you guys again next week. Peace.